Today and tomorrow, WRSI morning radio host Monte Belmonte will be leading his annual March Against Hunger through the Pioneer Valley during his Monte's March event. For 2 days, Monte, Congressman Jim McGovern, and a number of their supporters will push a shopping cart 43 miles from Springfield to Greenfield. Connecting Point producer Dave Fraser caught up with Monte as he began his march this morning and brings us the story.
The more I learned about food insecurity and how it affects our area specifically, the population is biggest and the need is greatest in the Springfield area. And I wanted to hear more of those stories from those communities by traveling through those communities. I wanted to go learn more about it and to share more of those stories from Springfield, Chicopee, Holyoke, some of the more urban hubs, to our listenership north of the so-called tofu curtain.
We hope you'll give at montesmarch.com.
I'm a sort of ridiculous person, so I'll be dressed as a pirate on the first day, hence the authentic pirate beard, which will be shaved off at the end of day one, and as I go into day two, I'll be dressed as a one-piece mirror ball person. It is a fundraiser for the Food Bank of Western Mass, who I call Mothership Hunger. So they have a giant warehouse where they have tons of food, literally, stored. They have relationships with all of your big supermarket chains and all of your big food distributors in the area, and many of the restaurants and many of the farms, as well as the federal government and state government. So the 200 or so pantries and soup kitchens draw on the resources that the food bank has. And so if we support the food bank directly, we can have an impact on over 200 agencies in the 4 counties of Western Mass.
Last year we raised over $250,000.
It's amazing what the human body will do when it's got enough adrenaline behind it. And there is an emotional toll too, because I want to always try to do better. The success rate, you want to be able to top what you did last year. So it's almost more of an emotional toll than a physical toll. I feel tender after day one and sore after day two, but it's nothing that a couple glasses of wine and an Epsom salt bath can't solve. I love being able to walk through the valley and just see how beautiful the cities are, the towns are, the farmlands that we walk by. I love when we encounter school groups that have been learning about food insecurity because of this march, and little kids who've done their own independent fundraiser and come and meet me on the road and hand over their jar of quarters to help fight food insecurity. And the hope is that we can destigmatize food insecurity, that most of the people who have to rely on emergency food want to work or are working, and that we can work out a solution, maybe a bigger solution. That's why our congressman is there with us, that we could help end food insecurity once and for all. But until then, every little bit helps. Even if we only raised $1, we've done good. When we raised $13,000 that first year, that was great. And it felt great at the time. It's now gone over $250,000, which is a big number and lots of digits. No matter whether or not we go over it this time, I know that the money is being put to good use. The need continues to grow, so I hope that the generosity will continue to grow to meet that need, but it's beyond my wildest expectations that it would have gone this far. If all goes well, at the end of this March, we will have crested over $1 million throughout the history of the March, so it's fun to hit those benchmarks.
Craft brewer